Today we're talking about condensation. Not the most glamorous of subjects, but something that affects thousands of people every year. We want to tell you a little bit about what causes it, how you can reduce it, and what to do about the effects of it. Condensation is the cause of about 70% of damp in homes. Aside from nasty looking black mould that it creates on walls and other surfaces, condensation can lead to other serious problems like woodworm and dry rot. We receive many calls every year from our residents telling us that they have mould or mildew in their homes. It's usually a problem that heightens towards the end of the year as weather turns wet and cold and heating goes back on, or perhaps because people start to dry their clothes inside the house rather than outside. Now rest assured, having mould or mildew in your home doesn't necessarily mean that you have a structural problem with your house. All homes suffer from condensation from time to time, and there are lots of practical steps you can take to reduce the effects in your home. Air contains water vapour that, when it comes in contact with a cold surface such as an external wall or a window, forms into droplets and then collects upon the surface. This is condensation. In the meantime, a quick fact. Did you know the average family can produce up to 17 litres of water vapour every day? That's 30 pints of water. This vapour can come from drying wet clothes on radiators, using the tumble dryer, having hot showers and baths without having a window open, boiling kettles, cooking, and of course, breathing. Phew, steamy. Now don't worry, we're not suggesting that you stop breathing. Now for the science part. What happens to all the water in the air? Well, the vapour stays as a gas until it comes in contact with either a cold surface or the temperature drops. So what can you do about it? Well, there are lots of ways you can reduce condensation within the home, and we're now about to speak to someone who knows an awful lot about it. That'll be my expert Lee right now. So Lee, I understand you're here today to help us make vapour vanish.
Well, that's correct, but also let's look at the condensation first and deal with that rather than the after effects once it's happened. Aha! Boiling pans, lids on. Now, not only will lids on reduce the condensation, but it will also help you cooking your food quicker, thus saving you money. So that means all your carrots, and your potatoes and your sprouts at Christmas will cook quicker for you.
Fantastic.
Hang your washing up outside. Take advantage of the free drying facilities of nature. If you are going to dry your washing inside, make sure that you open a window in the room that you're drying it in.
But Lee, what about tumble dryers?
Tumble dryers, good point. Well, if you are going to use one, make sure it's vented to the outside. Avoid using paraffin heaters or Cali gas heaters, as they're one of the main causes of major condensation problems.
So now we've moved on to the bathroom. Lee, what can we do in here?
Well, always keep your windows open when you've had a bath and shower. And keep it open until the steam clears. And if you have an extractor fan, make sure that that's switched on as well.
Is that what it's for?
Hang on a minute, where do you think you're going?
I'm finished. I've had my shower.
Always wipe down wet surfaces once you've had a shower or a bath. And don't leave the shower curtain bunched up. That's where mould and mildew forms. If rooms are cold and not being used, I would say keep the door shut. Don't put furniture against the outside walls because air won't be able to circulate and mildew and mould will build up behind it. Nobody likes drafts, but the best thing you can do is to get a bit of ventilation in your home. open a window. Let a bit of air filter through. But if you're going out, don't forget to close your window.
So what about heating, Lee? How could that help stop condensation?
Oh, heating is a very efficient way of cracking down on condensation. Always keep your heating on a low level rather than setting the timer for an hour or two at a time. But it can only help if it's used in addition to other things that we've already spoken about. It needs to be a dry heat. And don't forget, paraffin heaters and Cala gas heaters are no good. We've already mentioned those.
What do you mean by dry heat, Lee?
Dry heat, what I mean by that is central heating or gas fires. Good point there.
So Lee, dehumidifiers, do you think they can help?
Quite frankly, Glenn, no. They're not the best ways of tackling condensation. I mean, they're expensive and they need to be emptied every day. They're no substitute for the low-cost methods that we have spoken about.
So Lee, how can we cope with the musty smells?
Well, obviously, keep the rooms well ventilated. However, I do have a few top tips for you. You can use lemon juice, vinegar. They eliminate odours. Also, mix a paste of equal parts of baking soda, salt and water.
Oh, okay, that's really great advice, Lee.
Yes, but it is important to remember, obviously, to deal with the condensation first rather than to deal with the mould and mildew that can create afterwards. Let's have a quick recap on how to stop the steam. Keep homes ventilated, especially kitchens and bathrooms and rooms you use a lot, by opening windows and using extractor fans. Don't dry clothes indoors. Keep steam to a minimum by covering pans of boiling water. Try not to have damp items in the house. Keep your house warm by having heating on very low, constant heat. Keep the doors of rooms that you don't heat closed. And finally, don't put furniture too close to outside walls.
Well, hopefully that's made things a bit clearer for you. We do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you require any further information about condensation, please keep watching.